This is Gabriel Gonzalez for Cageside Press here with PFL featherweight Julia Budd, who takes on the returning Kayla Harrison on November 24th, the championship card. Julia, first question. Last year you had said it, you were pretty bummed that the fight fell through. You were worried, hey, is this going to be that fight that got away? The fight has not gotten away. What are the emotions of that?
Just super excited. A lot of great energy going towards this training camp and making sure that yeah, just I'm super excited. When they told me kind of the end of August, I was like, just like yes, because I wasn't sure if they were going to give it to maybe Aspen or somebody else. They were mentioning it. I had seen like Ray mentioning that there was a couple potential opponents, and I was asking for it since my last fight, so I was excited.
I want to ask you some of those logistics because obviously, some of the girls like every year don't make the cut, just like a lot of the fighters for the playoffs. They announced alternates and all that. Was there ever any talk with you about like, hey, you might be the alternate for the championship, et cetera, et cetera?
No, because I think that it's like the girls that made it to the next stage of the season. It's one of them that always get to be the alternate. So I didn't expect to be on that, but I was like, hey, I really wanted to fight again before the end of the year. So I was kind of messaging Ray and asking like, hey, any chance of this fight happening or anything? So yeah, I'm just super excited that I'm in awesome shape and I'm ready to go and get in there. So
At what point did they tell you it was going to be Kayla? Like, were there ever any talks of you fighting just somebody else, or was the first one they said like, hey, no, Julia, we got a big fight for you for the 24th?
I think I started messaging him like a week after my fight with Jindrova. I was like, hey, does Kayla need an opponent? And, just kind of waiting to hear. We think that would be a great fight. I was kind of just getting that feedback all summer. So kept training, staying in shape, staying ready, and then finally got confirmation in August that I'd be fighting her on November 24th. So I've known for a while and I'm just excited. So,
When you have a situation like this, I'm always curious, like when in terms of training camp and working with the coaches, does it feel like a school assignment that, you already did the homework for, so now you just revisit it when you rebook a fight, or do a lot of things really change, in the months that passed in terms of your prep?
um, like I think that it was almost like starting off where we like starting back where we left off. I was getting some like amazing work in down in Seattle with some great wrestling coaches and jujitsu coaches and just like training with some teams down here. So during for that first fight that was supposed to happen, so it's been cool because we kind of just like started back and things were going really well last year. So yeah, just kind of started back. It's exactly what you said, like a school assignment that kind of just like starts back. The ball starts rolling again. And yeah, so it felt good.
One of the big factors over the fight, obviously, is she's been out for pretty much a year since her last fight in the championship. Do you expect that to impact in any way, what Kayla Harrison we might see in the cage?
I kind of can't say because she's never dealt with a loss before in MMA, right? So this is a big like question mark. But I know she trains every day. I know she's a fierce competitor. She's been helping other girls get ready at her camp for the last year. So I know she's active, like she's in the gym all the time. But I don't know, like it'll be interesting to see how she deals with it. I'm expecting her very best version of herself. And but yeah, you never know because she was so dominant for, up until the last fight with Pacheco.
I know you're Canadian, but you've lived in America for a while. Do you observe the whole with Thanksgiving? Like, are you going to be seeing other people eat turkey and be like, "Don't talk to me for a couple days," or how does that work?
Yeah, well, I fought last year at the same time, so I was like,
Yeah.
oh, no, I mean, it is, we just had our Thanksgiving in Canada, so I got to enjoy that. So
I mean, best of both worlds, if you ask me. The fight is very close to the national park and all that. Do you get out and do a lot of sightseeing? Like, do you see yourself probably having a field trip during fight week for this one?
Yeah, I think so. I definitely want to like see a lot of history there, and uh my parents had been down there, and yeah, so I just want to check out some places, and yeah.
To ask you a little bit about the business, obviously a lot of talk, the whole PFL Bellator thing. When they talk about the possibility, a cyborg, Leah McCord, Sarah McMahon, Kat Zingano, etc., possibly being brought into the fold in 24. As one of the competitors already in PFL, what are your feelings or thoughts on that?
Excited. Like some of those fights it was disappointing to leave Bellator knowing I didn't get to fight some of the girls that they um, obviously were building, but also signing. I would have loved to fight Kat. I would have loved to fight Leah McCourt. I would have loved to have a rematch against Cyborg. That was like one of the um, big reasons to stay with Bellator was like, hey, is that like on the table or an opportunity? So any of those fights, I'd be obviously excited to have in PFL. Um, yeah, but I mean, I hope Bellator sticks around because it's an awesome organization, and yeah. So, but I mean, you know what I mean? Like it would be the best either way. It would work out well because there's lots of fights for me at PFL as well. So.
I mean, obviously, you're happy and you're doing your thing over in PFL. When you see a Bellator just celebrate the 300th event and all that, you're obviously a big part of it and, help
Mhm.
really build that featherweight division over there. I mean, sentimentally, with sentimental value, did you see that and be like, it's pretty cool to know I was a part of that?
Yeah, totally. And just like all the people, like it still feels like family because I get to go there. Lance Gibson fights for Bellator still, so I get to go and see everybody, and I miss them all obviously, and it was cool to see that such a big event. And yeah, I mean it's sentimental, but at the same time, I'm happy where I'm at with PFL.
I'm glad you brought up Lance. That was my other question on it. Obviously, I can imagine with things up in the air, it's stressful for anybody. It's easy to, think he might be going through a bit of that. What talks do you have with him? Because obviously, you know what it's like to possibly be brought into PFL, but then also you
Mhm.
know what he's building and what he's been doing in Bellator for so long. So, what are those talks you have with him about the potential future?
Well, we were kind of like, hey, we might be fighting on the same card again or for the same organization again. And but at the same time, he's got his whole career ahead of him. He's only getting better. He's so young still. So it's like either way, I think it benefits him. You know what I mean? Like he's super good, and all of his skills and everything. Like the sky's the limit. So wherever he's at, it the opportunities are going to come. So yeah.
Yes, well, certainly thought we might see him in November, so I hope we do get to see him back in the cage soon. My
Yeah.
final question for yourself, to leave it at this one, what can fans expect from Julia Budd when she gets in the cage with Kayla Harrison on the 24th?
Just my very best version of myself. I'm so prepared. I'm so ready for this fight, and I look forward to shocking a lot of people.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. Julia, always a pleasure speaking to you. Best of luck. Remember, fans, November 24th, PFL Championships, ESPN Plus pay-per-view. You guys are not going to want to miss it.